Hello everybody, it's Anne. End of a long day and as you can see all the lamps are on, so I hope the light's good enough. Late at night now and I'm pretty tired. I just want to get into the shower and into bed, but I want to do this first because I promised I would. And I'm going to read a little bit because I have written some notes about Ashleen Rooney, and I don't want to undersell her or make any terrible mistakes about what actually happened. So, and I also think in doing these videos about Ashleen and her family, it's going to be better to do them in short snapshots over a period of probably 4 or 5 videos, rather than, or 6 even, rather than a whole monologue, which is going to be difficult for me to do in a way, and also difficult for you to actually comprehend. So it's just going to be short videos which, when they come together, will give you the story. So we'll get on with this. Ashleen, as I said, was born between 1902 and 1910. So, gosh, she would have been 107 years old now if we take 1910 as a starting point, which I think we will. So she was born in 1910. Her family were comparatively well heeled in Belfast. They owned a small grocer's store, and Ashleen worked there with her mother. She had 3 brothers, 3 elder brothers, and 2 elder sisters. She was the youngest of the family. She started working in the store with her mum at the age of 14 or 15. What did I write? Oh yeah, I wrote she didn't go back to work with you and blah blah blah. Yeah, this is what I got from my mum, that Ashleen, she was as pretty as a picture. She had long black hair, almond-shaped eyes, and russet-coloured almond-shaped eyes, long black hair. Very beautiful girl. Very sheltered, church-going, as everybody was, Catholic. She was responsible. She adhered to her parents' wishes. Very obedient girl up until a certain point. Anyway, one fateful day, this is what I've written, Ashleen met a boy 4 years her senior. I think she was 16 at that time, and this boy David, he was 20 when they met. Yeah, his name was David. He was handsome, smiling, intelligent and kind. That was all Ashleen needed to know, really. She thought how mistaken she was. David was a Protestant. He was actually a friend of one of Ashleen's brothers. I don't quite know how that worked out either, because the Protestants and Catholics just didn't mix. And anyone knowing of Irish history will be aware of how horrified Ashleen's family would have been had they known that a deep relationship was beginning to form between them. Courting is a quaint word. I don't know whether it's an Irish word, courting. Was it because they walked round a court? I don't know. So their courting was clandestine. Nobody knew of it, except Ashleen's brother. He knew, or at least he had his suspicions of what was going on. and he confronted David once, I believe, and David was non-committal in his answer. Yeah, they carried on like this for how long? Over a year before they were discovered, and I think that would have been actually Ashleen's brother who asked David outright what was happening. David was non-committal, and Ashleen's brother, of course, went to his parents, and was a great big brouhaha, and Ashleen was put under lock and key, really. The relationship was severed, but the pair were determined to overcome bigotry and to have their lives together. They wanted to marry, they wanted to have a family, but of course they couldn't do that living in Belfast. They couldn't do that anywhere. They couldn't work a way out. But David had extended family in County Galway, and it was there that he and Ashleen were invited to live. Well, they probably asked, they weren't invited. David was going to be working as a mechanic, and Ashleen helping his aunt in their boarding house, lodging house, call it what you will. The date was set. One fine summer's morning, a clear sunny day with deep blue skies and a blazing sun, Ashleen, just a week before Ashleen and David were to leave, there was a visitor to the shop where Ashleen and her parents worked. This visitor was somebody that Ashleen didn't know. He had come to speak to her parents and to speak to her brother. The information was actually intended for Ashleen, and it was a warning, and it was finalising, they thought, what they wanted to be finalised. David, Ashleen's lover, fiance, had been killed. He'd been shot. His body was found in a field adjacent to the family home. He was just 22 years old. Ashleen was 18 years old. I won't leave it there. I was going to. What I will say is that was the start of Ashleen's troubles. She was pregnant. What was she going to do? What were her parents going to do? Well, what her parents did, they thought was for the best. And maybe it was, maybe at that time they felt it was the only option to them. And Ashleen was married off to a widower. He was in his 50s, I believe, bearing in mind she was a young girl of 18. He was in his 50s. He had 2 adult children who I believe were older than Ashleen. He would have been absolutely over the moon to get this young wife, and he was. He took the fact that the baby was part of the package as just something, just the price he had to pay for having this young girl in his home and in his bed. And there was a big price also that Ashleen had to pay. Her life didn't get any better. It got worse. And I will be back with more of the same, probably this evening. If I can do a video a night or every 2 nights, because I don't want my channel to be solely about this as a duration. You know, I like to keep up with a bit of the gossip and stuff that goes on also, but I do want to get this story out there, and in giving you a personalised version of what went on, it'll also give you a clear idea of what life was like for unmarried girls in Ireland, or girls who fell in love with Catholic girls who fell in love with Protestants, or vice versa, what life was like for them. So I'll be back later, and what did I say, tomorrow night, and I will maybe try to do one a day, if not one every other day. Okay, speak to you later. Sleep well, everybody. Bye-bye.